An event should have a dedicated announcer for two reasons. One is for the things that a professional announcer would do, but also for things that the race management shouldn't have to do. They're usually quite busy doing all sorts of other things, and if they have to worry about doing the announcing and then they have a problem in a setup or a timeline or what happens and they disappear, now the crowd is left either in silence or they're not really sure what's going to happen. The duties of a well-informed announcer are many, and in a lot of cases it's more crowd control, entertaining the crowd, giving them information that they need that they may not have, informing the crowd about changes that may have been different from the website or based on weather conditions, course conditions if we're talking about a road race or something like that. The main thing is to constantly be letting the participants and the people there a reminder of what the timeline is, what the time of day is on the clock, and how long they have to go before the start, or how long they have to go to where they may have to move to a starting line, which is not at the pre-post race venue or where the finish line is. A lot of races actually have a start somewhere else, and that may take 5 or 10 minutes to actually walk there. Another thing is the professional person would have a better music mix, know when to play it, and that's really important, particularly since road races and triathlons tend to start early in the morning. You have to be careful about bothering residences and possible noise ordinances in the cities. So generally an announcer will have a smooth, soft jazz mix for early in the morning, keep the volumes down, and then when it gets a little bit later on, closer to the race time, they'll put on some more up-tempo music. Ideally, that music would be one that has a backbeat. So if you look around and you don't see people sort of dancing or shifting their weight from one foot to the other in time with the music, you probably don't want to have that kind of music there, because you want to have the people somewhat get a little bit excited before the event. Another thing you pay attention to are their condos. If you're on a lake or near a river, sound travels an awful long way, and an announcer would know that and know where to place their speakers and which direction to have them. And you actually may change the direction of the speaker once the race starts and it's later in the morning. You want to tell the people where the porta-johns are. There may be multiple locations. The announcer generally will be watching to see if the lines are getting too long, because one set of porta-johns is really obvious and everybody's standing there and the lines are long, and then there's another one on the back side of the building that's going begging. You want to inform the people where the timer is located, so that if there's anything later on after they look at the results, where they can go and ask a question about why their time is different than they think it is, or whatever it may be. The announcer would know how to properly tell the runners what their duties are going to be after they finish. Generally what I do is I say, get your breath back, grab some hydration, and then go and try to find out where the results are posted. Maybe they're on a tablet. You might have even gotten them in this day and age in an email. Take a look at them, make sure they're correct. Make sure that your age and gender are correct. Because if the age and gender are not correct, that means if something's wrong with you, there's another age and gender category that is also messed up. Now, you may not care about the competition for yourself, but somebody else does. So you sort of have a duty to make sure that the results are correct and that you're in the right age group. And the reason that can happen is husband picks up a wife's bib and they don't pay attention, and the wife has the husband's bib, and vice versa. So now they get the wrong gender and possibly the wrong age. The announcer could also announce that I'm going to be the lost and found for the race, because people know where I am, they can find me, and if you find anything or you lost something, come and ask me. And any volunteers, by the way, I will mention loud over the PA system. You find something, bring it to the announcer, and I'll keep it there. Typically, we get credit cards and driver's licenses at races on a regular basis. Another one is shout outs to local elites, or the race crew. Tell the people about the volunteers and to thank them. There also may be the sponsors present, maybe his family, maybe they're going to run in the race. Another thing as far as shout outs are there's generally vendors, sponsor booths and things like that, and a professional announcer would normally go around and get the names of people in the booth, and then at some point prior to the race, go over and maybe interview one of the sponsors at the booth. And in a lot of cases, interviewing the sponsor is going to be better than having the announcer read something about the sponsor, because the sponsor is going to do a much better job selling themselves than the announcer will. Another reason is professional announcer is usually experienced in emergency crowd control. Hopefully you never have to do that. But they know, one, not to panic the crowd, give enough information about what's going to happen, and maybe help tell the people where to go based on some event that can happen. You can have an auto accident, the start-finish line bridge can fall over, who knows what it is. Sound gear should be more than just 2 speakers put on either side of the table where the announcer is. When you see somebody doing that, you got somebody that doesn't understand a large outdoor event. And generally DJs are going to do that because they're working a smaller area with a smaller dance floor, and where the bride and groom are going to come walking in at a wedding. But outdoors, you generally need plenty of power from a sound system. And for all practical purposes, any battery-operated sound system is not going to be adequate. It just physically can't do it. A bullhorn is almost a cruel joke, because the only person that can hear it is the person who's speaking and the people in the front row in front of whoever has it. So generally you'll want to have a sound system that's at a minimum of 300 watts per channel, and I won't go into the technicality of that. If anyone was interested in getting my contact information about my services, I have a Facebook page. Steve Moland is my name, M-O-L-A-N-D. And if I can't cover your event, I can generally maybe find someone to do that, and the announcers have a pretty tight community, and we'll help you do that.